warm welcome to everyone. I hope you all are doing good. So all those students who are already associated with us, they already know that we have already completed the law of crimes in our previous videos, right? And for all those students who've been following us, I would like to ask you all whether you've understood law of crimes or not. And if you have any genuine doubts, please do comment down in the comment section of the respective videos, जिससे मुझे पता चल सके कि आपके क्या doubts हैं, right? I'll be addressing those doubts, right? चलो, so अब हम आगे start करेंगे. अभी तक हमने law of crimes किया, right? अब हम start करने वाले हैं law of torts. Now, whenever I talk about law of torts, most of the students tell me that ma'am law of torts ना कभी समझ ही नहीं आया, क्योंकि पता नहीं चला what is this concept, right? या फिर मैम हमने लॉ ऑफ टॉर्ट्स पूरा पढ़ लिया, फिर भी हम लोग बहुत बार कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं whether this offense is a tort or it is a crime, right? So they get confused, right? चलो, so अभी अब से आने वाले कुछ वीडियोस में we will be discussing the law of torts in detail, and by detail I really mean that हम लोग हर एक पॉइंट डिस्कस करने की कोशिश करेंगे which is relevant for you guys for your exam, right? Let's just see. Now, what is law of tort and tort का meaning क्या है? क्या आपने कभी tort के बारे में पढ़ा है in English और in हिंदी? क्या ये word tort कभी पढ़ा है English या हिंदी में? नहीं. So let's just see. So tort has its origin. It is a foreign language word and basically means something which is wrong or something which is twisted, right? Now, tortious liability arises from the breach of duty primarily fixed by law. This duty is towards persons generally, and its breach is redressable by an action for unliquidated damages, right? अब थोड़ी सी ना vocabulary मुश्किल लग रही है मुझे यहाँ पे, because ना तो मुझे damages का मतलब पता है, ना ही मुझे unliquidated का मतलब पता है, right? Then tort may be defined as a civil wrong which is repressible by an action for unliquidated damages and which is other than a mere breach of trust and a breach of contract. ठीक है, अब तो मैम और कंफ्यूजिंग हो गया क्योंकि हमें डेफिनेशन ही नहीं समझ आई टॉर्ट्स की. लेट्स जस्ट सी. फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, व्हाट इज टॉर्ट? टॉर्ट इज एन ऑफेंस ऑफ अ सिविल नेचर, राइट? So it will be a part of civil laws, right? अब civil law जब भी हम पढ़ते हैं, so we basically talk about three laws. First thing first, breach of contract, breach of trust and torts. अब अगर हमें टॉर्ट्स को डिफाइन करना है तो हम टॉर्ट्स को कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं? फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, यू गाइज नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द फैक्ट दैट टॉर्ट्स की कोई खुद की डेफिनेशन नहीं है. यू कैन नॉट टेल व्हाट ऑल इज अ टॉर्ट, बट whenever we try to define tort, we always say something which is not a breach of contract and not a breach of trust becomes a tort, right? तो ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और ब्रीच ऑफ ट्रस्ट के अलावा जो भी हमारे पास ऑफेंस बचता है ऑफ अ सिविल नेचर, दैट बिकम्स अ ब्रीच ऑफ, दैट बिकम्स अ टॉर्ट, सॉरी, राइट? सो दैट बिकम्स अ टॉर्ट. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. नाउ moving ahead, we'll try to understand two concepts, right? We'll try to understand two concepts here. First thing first, what is damage? And what are damages? Damage क्या होता है और damages क्या होते हैं? This is what we are trying to understand here. What is damage? Damage is injury. What sort of an injury? Injury to your legal rights, right? What is damages? Damages is the other word for compensation. Now, for all those who don't know the meaning ऑफ कॉम्पनसेशन? कॉम्पनसेशन का मतलब होता है टू ब्रिंग बैक द पार्टी टू इट्स ओरिजिनल पोजिशन. इट इज द बेसिक पर्पस ऑफ कॉम्पनसेशन. कॉम्पनसेशन मतलब एक तरह से हट जाना, राइट? एंड कॉम्पनसेशन इज टू रिस्टोर द ओरिजिनल पोजिशन ऑफ द पार्टी, राइट? सो इसलिए हम इसको बोलते हैं कॉम्पनसेशन. और इसका दूसरा वर्ड क्या है? डैमेजेस, राइट? डैमेज इज इंजरी. इंजरी टू एनी लीगल राइट बिकम्स अ डैमेज एंड डैमेजेस आर कॉम्पनसेशंस. आई होप अब थोड़ा क्लियर हुआ होगा. नाउ whenever we talk about damages, तो damages दो तरह के होते हैं. यहाँ पे लिखा है ना, by an action for unliquidated damage, right? तो अब liquidated damage क्या है और unliquidated क्या है? So damages के दो टाइप्स होते हैं और वो दो टाइप्स क्या होते हैं? Unliquidated and liquidated, right? So what is liquidated damage and what are unliquidated damages? Liquidated damage का मतलब होता है where the amount or compensation is pre-decided, right? And what is unliquidated damage? Unliquidated damage वो होता है जहां पे the compensation is not pre-decided, right? Where the compensation is not pre-decided. For example, let's say I and one of my friend, we made a contract of an amount of rupees, 2 lakh rupees. Now, if I breach the contract, it has clearly been written in the contract that if anybody breaches the contract, he or she shall pay the other party an amount of 2 lakh rupees. तो यहाँ पे जो compensation है वो pre-decided थी कि 2 लाख का नुकसान हुआ तो अगला दूसरे को 2 लाख रुपया दे देगा, right? But let's say एक बिल्डिंग में आग लग गई, right? जहाँ पे कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स काम कर रहे थे, right? All of a sudden बिल्डिंग में आग लगी, कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स काम कर रहे थे, and later on it came into light that just because of the negligence of the owners वो आग लगी है, राइट? जिसकी वजह से जो वर्कमैन है उनको कॉम्पनसेशन देना पड़ेगा. तो क्या यहाँ पे पहले से डिसाइडेड था कि किस वर्कर को कितना कॉम्पनसेशन देना है या फिर किस वर्कर को कितना नुकसान होना था? नहीं डिसाइडेड था ना. तो यहाँ पे जब कॉम्पनसेशन प्री डिसाइडेड नहीं है तो वो किस तरह की कॉम्पनसेशन हो जाती है? वो हो जाती है अनलिक्विडेटेड कॉम्पनसेशन, right? And it is a part of unliquidated damages. I hope that is clear to everyone. अगर किसी को कोई डाउट है, you can comment down in the comment section below, right? So now, tort may be defined as a civil wrong. अब हमें एक चीज बहुत क्लियर होनी चाहिए that tort is a civil wrong, which is repressible by an action for unliquidated damages. कि torts में unliquidated damages के लिए action होता है and which is other than a mere breach of contract and a breach of trust. तो जो भी चीजें या जो भी ऑफेंसेस जहां पे ब्रीच ऑफ ट्रस्ट या ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं है वहां पे देयर इज अ केस ऑफ टॉर्ट. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन एंड नोबडी हैज अ डाउट इन इट. सो दैट इज हाउ यू डिफाइन टॉर्ट्स, right? So the definition of torts is clear to everyone. Now we'll move ahead and we will see what is the law of tort. So the question is it the law of tort, that is every wrongful act for which there is no justification or excuse to be treated as a tort, right? पहला क्वेश्चन ये कि मैम अभी तक आपने हमें ना ये नहीं बताया कि किस तरह के जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो यूजुअली टॉर्ट्स में आते हैं, राइट? तो क्या वो सारे क्वेश्चंस जहां पे कोई भी ऑलरेडी जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं है, क्या वो सारे टॉर्ट में आएंगे? आई डोंट नो, राइट? अ न्यू रॉन्ग कैन बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज अ टॉर्ट. क्या ये हो सकता है कि एक नया रॉन्ग अगर कोई आ रहा है मार्केट में तो उसे हम टॉर्ट बोल दें? लेट्स सी. इज इट द लॉ ऑफ टॉर्ट कंसिस्ट ओनली ऑफ अ नंबर ऑफ स्पेसिफिक रॉन्ग्स बियॉन्ड व्हिच द लायबिलिटी अंडर व्हिच ब्रांच कैन नॉट अराइज? ठीक है. अब ये दूसरा क्वेश्चन कि क्या मैम कोई लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ ऑफेंसेस होते हैं जो टॉर्ट्स के अंदर आते हैं? हमारा तो ये भी क्वेश्चन है. All right, let's just see all these things. First thing first, tort is judge made law, right? It has no statute, we have no book or a bare act which is the bare act of law of torts. We don't have such a thing, right? So there is no statute in India for the law of torts. Now ये चीज आपको समझ आनी चाहिए कि अगर एक जज मेड लॉ है तो यानी कि judges will decide whether compensation has to be paid in this case and how much compensation has to be paid in this case. So the number of offenses for which such a judgment could come, they can be numerous, right? They can be numerous. So यहाँ पे law of torts is the pigeonhole theory. अब pigeonhole theory क्या है? It says that if there is no pigeonhole in which the plaintiff's case would fit in, the defendant has committed no tort. Right? I hope that is clear. देखो, जो law of contract या फिर breach of trust नहीं होता, वो tort होता है, right? And also the pigeonhole theory says if there is no pigeonhole in which the plaintiff's case could fit in, the defendant has committed no tort. Right? चलो आगे चले. What are the essentials of torts? हमने ना हमेशा हर एक लॉ में कुछ स्पेशल ऐसे पॉइंट समझे हैं जो रिक्वायर्ड है इन ऑर्डर टू एस्टैब्लिश अ पर्टिकुलर ऑफेंस. एंड सिमिलरली हम टॉर्ट्स में भी समझेंगे कि व्हाट आर द एसेंशियल्स ऑफ टॉर्ट्स. राइट, सो लेट्स जस्ट बिगिन. फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, wrongful act or omission. What is an omission? What is an omission? I've already explained this thing to you guys. What is commission? What is an omission? What is an act? Right? Omission is something which you are obliged to do, या जो आपसे काम expected है but आप वो नहीं करते हो. That is an omission. So a wrongful act or omission is said to have been committed by a person who has not performed his duty, like a reasonable man, reasonable and prudent person, or has broken it intentionally. ठीक है, तो कोई भी ऐसा काम जो एक रीजनेबल या प्रूडेंट मैन ने विद हिज अटमोस्ट रीजनेबिलिटी ना कंप्लीट किया हो, दैट बिकम्स अ wrongful act or an omission. So in the case of Rogers versus Rajendra Dutt, what happened? So in the case of Rogers versus Rajendra Dutt, it was observed that the act complained of should, under the circumstances, be legally wrongful as regards the party complaining, that is, it must prejudicially affect him in some legal right. Merely that it will, however, directly do him harm in his interest is not enough. So what you need to understand is that if a wrong has been done, there should be a legal harm which has been committed to the plaintiff. Right? अगर किसी ने कुछ गलत किया तो उसका कोई आगे कॉन्सिक्वेंस होना चाहिए जिससे किसी और की लीगल राइट जो है वो इन्फ्रिंज हो रही है, अगले को कोई नुकसान हो रहा है. राइट? Now, moving ahead, the second thing, the first thing is that there should be a legal wrong, a wrongful act or an omission. Secondly, a wrongful act may be a positive act or an omission which can be committed by a person, right? So, a wrongful act may be a positive act or an omission which can be committed by any person either negligently or intentionally or even by committing a breach of strict duty. Right? Now let's just see what do we mean by this. Any wrongful act may be a positive act. ठीक है? कोई गलत काम एक पॉजिटिव काम भी हो सकता है या फिर कोई ओमिशन भी हो सकती है. पॉजिटिव काम कैसे? पॉजिटिव काम जैसे कि आपको कार चलाना अलाउड नहीं है बिफोर द एज ऑफ 18 बट आप चला रहे हो. राइट? ओमिशन कि आपको रेड लाइट को फॉलो करना चाहिए या फिर आपको ट्रैफिक रूल्स को फॉलो करना चाहिए बट आप नहीं फॉलो कर रहे हो. राइट? दैट इज एन ओमिशन ऑन योर पार्ट. राइट? कैन बी कमिटेड बाय अ पर्सन ईदर नेग्लिजेंटली और इंटेंशनली. कभी कभी ना नेग्लिजेंटली मीन्स केयरलेसली हमसे कुछ ऐसी चीजें हो जाती हैं which may lead to an offense, right, or which can be termed as an offense, right? तो वो होगा by negligence. अब दूसरी चीज intentionally, कभी कभी हम with intentions भी कुछ गलत कर सकते हैं. For example, if there is a competitor of mine and I want to overwin that competitor of mine, तो मैं bad mouthing या bad marketing करके उसका profit अपने पास लेके आ सकती हूँ, right? Now, committed by a breach of strict duty, right? या फिर कुछ ऐसा जो आपसे commit हुआ है just because you did not fulfill your strict duty. For example, every doctor is obliged to take care of the standards, and the professional standards have to be maintained. But let's say there is a doctor who operates on somebody while he is intoxicated. तो वो क्या कर रहा है यहाँ पे? Breach of a strict duty. And this was a case which I took from one of the movies which was a hit. Have you seen Kabir Singh? Kabir Singh में क्या था? Medical negligence का case, that a doctor or surgeon who was obliged to take care of his professional standards did not do so, right? So वहाँ पे उसकी एक strict duty थी that he has to perform the surgery in a fit state of mind which he couldn't do, right? So यहाँ पे जो strict duty है उसको follow नहीं करा, and there was a breach of it. So medical negligence का case बना, right? Now, it would be pertinent here to mention that a breach of merely moral or religious duty can't be considered under this head, but it must be a duty primarily fixed by law. अब एक चीज समझो कि in order for a tort to be instituted, you need to have a breach of legal duty. What do I mean by legal duty? तो यहाँ पे ना दो तीन चीजें हमें समझनी जरूरी है कि legal duty and moral duty को हमें distinguish करना आना चाहिए. What is a moral duty? It is my moral duty to respect my elders. It is my moral duty to take care of the surroundings, to take care of the environment, right? So that is a moral duty. What is a legal duty? My legal duty is to go and vote, right? So हमें एक चीज समझनी चाहिए कि जब भी कोई tort हो रहा है तो हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? There is a breach of legal duty, right? I hope this is clear. For example, let's say a person is drowning in a pool. ठीक है, a person is drowning in a pool and I, a bystander, won't be held liable for not saving the person. Why? Because वहाँ पे मेरी moral duty थी उसको save करना, legal duty नहीं थी. On the similar hand, अगर एक life instructor है, he is sitting on the side, he is not helping the person who is drowning, he can be held liable for it. Why? Because उसकी legal duty थी to help the person, right? I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear to everyone, right? So there has to be a breach of legal duty, and then that can be considered as a tort when it comes to commission of the offense, right? Now we shall be moving ahead and we will be discussing further. Second is, so first point हमें clear हो गया कि breach of a legal right or a breach of a legal duty होना जरूरी है. Second that we have here is legal damage. What do we mean by a legal damage? अभी तक हमने damage समझा. Damage का मतलब नुकसान, damage का मतलब injury. But मैम ये legal damage क्या होता है? हमें पता है injury क्या होती है, पर हमें ये नहीं पता कि legal damage क्या होता है. So let's just see what is legal damage. Damage means the harm or the loss suffered or presumed to be suffered by a person as a result of some wrongful act done by another person. The sum of money which is awarded by the court to compensate damage is called damages. तभी मैंने आपको difference बताया between damage and damages, right? चलो, तो अभी हम damage कर रहे हैं, तो हमें एक चीज समझ आनी चाहिए कि damage. So on the basis of presumption of damage rights are of two types. Number one is absolute and the other one is qualified. ठीक है. So now when there is a violation of legal right, it is actionable even without the proof of any damage. ठीक है, जहां पे आपकी लीगल राइट इन्फ्रिंज हुई है वहां पे देयर इज नो नीड फॉर एनी प्रूफ दैट मेरी लीगल राइट या मुझे कोई इंजरी हुई है, राइट. सो यहाँ पे दो कॉन्सेप्ट्स है हमारे पास जो हम समझेंगे. ये दो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हम समझने वाले हैं. फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, हु विल टेल मी व्हाट इज डैमनम साइन इंजूरिया एंड व्हाट इज इंजूरिया साइन डैमनो? सी, इंजूरिया मीन्स इंजुरी, साइन मीन्स विदाउट, डैमनो मीन्स डैमेज. देन वी हैव damage, damnum means damage, sign means without, इंजूरिया मीन्स इंजरी. ठीक है, अब ये दो कॉन्सेप्ट समझेंगे पहले और दो केस लॉ समझेंगे विच यू विल रिमेंबर थ्रू आउट, राइट. सो द फर्स्ट केस लॉ दैट वी हैव हियर इज, so the first case law that we have here is Ashby versus White, and the case law for damnum sign injuria is Gloucester grammar. स्कूल केस, राइट. ये दो केस लॉज हैं जो हमें समझना जरूरी है in order to understand these concepts, right. So who was Ashby? Ashby was a voter. This is Mr. A, which is Ashby. Ashby was a voter who went to the polling booth wherein Mr. White was the officer taking care of the elections, right. So Mr. Ashby was a voter who went to the polling booth where Mr. White was taking care of the elections, and Mr. White did not allow Ashby to cast his vote. अब मिस्टर वाइट ने एशबी को मना कर दिया टू कास्ट हिज वोट. नाउ द कैंडिडेट whom Ashby wanted to win, that was C won the elections despite of the fact that Ashby was not allowed to vote for him, right. अब जिसके लिए Ashby ने वोट डालना था वो वैसे भी जीत गया था, right, though Ashby was not allowed to vote for him. Now Ashby, being a very serious citizen and a very active citizen, knew कि right to vote is his legal right, and by not allowing him to vote, Mr. White has infringed his legal right, right. So he went to the court stating that though there is no damage that has happened to me, damage मतलब मुझे कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई, ना फिजिकल ना मेंटल ना इमोशनल, किसी तरह की मुझे कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई, but Mr. White has infringed my legal right, and he prayed in front of the court that Mr. White should be held liable for the same, right, and Mr. White should be held tortiously liable for the same. So here the court said that though there was no legal damage which happened, right, though there was no damage, no physical damage that happened, yet there was an infringement of legal rights, and hence Mr. White will be held tortiously liable, right. तो यहाँ पे Mr. White was held liable for committing an offense under the law of torts. I hope injuria sign damno is clear to everyone. Just have a look at it. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now we shall be moving ahead and we shall be discussing damnum sine injuria. तो अब जब हम damnum sine injuria पढ़ेंगे वहां पे हमें एक चीज बहुत क्लियर होनी चाहिए. इस कॉन्सेप्ट में हमें रियलाइज हुआ that any injury which infringes, any injury to your legal right is punishable, right? Any injury to your legal right is punishable under injuria sine damno. अब हम पढ़ रहे हैं ग्लाउसेस्टर ग्रामर स्कूल केस, right? So now this is Gloucester Grammar School. This is a small school. This is a school, right? अब this is Mr. A, right? This is Mr. A. He used to teach in this school, right? But somehow he gave his resignation from the school and he opened his own new school, which was Gloucester Grammar. Let's just write it as GG, right? He opened his big new school known as the Gloucester Grammar School, right? अब what A did was कि उसने ये जो Gloucester Grammar School केस है ना, इसकी जो फीस थी पुराने स्कूल से 20% लेस रखी थी. ठीक है, अब कम फीस देख के इन द सेम लोकेलिटी द स्टूडेंट्स गॉट अट्रैक्टेड एंड यहाँ से जो स्टूडेंट्स थे वो नए स्कूल में शिफ्ट होने लग गए, राइट? जिसकी वजह से जो पुराना स्कूल था दे इनकर्ड फाइनेंशियल लॉसेस. ठीक है, अब इनको फाइनेंशियल लॉसेस हो गए. ठीक है, तो डैमेज तो यहाँ हुआ है, देयर इज डैमेज, राइट? व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ डैमेज? फाइनेंशियल डैमेज इज देयर, राइट? बट जस्ट बिकॉज इनको फाइनेंशियल डैमेज हुआ, ग्लाउसेस्टर ग्रामर स्कूल पे इन्होंने एक केस कर दिया दैट दे आर कॉजिंग अस फाइनेंशियल डैमेज. तो हमें डैमेज हुआ है, सो वी शुड बी कॉम्पनसेटेड फॉर द सेम, राइट? So in this case, the court held that though there is a legal damage that has happened, though there is a damage that has taken place, though there is a financial damage, not a legal damage, though there is a financial damage, yet Gloucester Grammar is not tortiously liable as no legal right of this school has been infringed. Just because कोई legal right infringe नहीं हुई थी but financial right infringe हुई थी, Gloucester Grammar School case was not held for it, right? I hope this is clear. So कोई tortious liability नहीं बनती है अगर आपको और XYZ losses हो और XYZ damages हो, but अगर आपको कोई legal right आपका infringe नहीं हुआ है तो आपको compensation नहीं मिलेगा और वो कोई एक tortious liability नहीं बनेगी, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Damnum sine injuria and injuria sine damno. Now we shall be moving ahead and we shall be understanding Ashby versus White. I have already explained everyone, right? And I have also explained Gloucester Grammar School case. Now there's another case which is Marzetti versus Williams, wherein the banker refused to honor the check of the customer although the banker had sufficient funds in his hand. Here the customer did not sustain any actual loss or damage, but the banker was held liable. Why? Because obviously अगर उसको पैसा चाहिए and he had a check of its own, so आराम से वो पैसा ले सकता है. Nobody can ask him not to do so, right? वो उसकी legal right है. And जहाँ भी legal rights infringe होती है वो क्या बन जाता है? एक tort बन जाता है, right? Now, what is the legal remedy? In torts, the wrongful act must come under the category of wrongs for which the remedy is civil action for damages. Legal remedy is the third essential. अभी तक हमें समझ आ गया that there should be an infringement of legal rights which should be compensated by unliquidated damages, and last but not the least there should be a legal remedy, right? Is the third essential for an action in torts. A tort is a civil injury but all civil injuries are not torts, right? Because हर civil injury के लिए कोई भी legal remedy नहीं बनती, जरूरी नहीं है, right? So the essential remedy for a tort is an action for damages, but there are other remedies also. For example, injunction may be obtained in addition to damages, right? In certain cases of wrongs or an action by the plaintiff himself without going to the court, right? That is self-help. So ये सारी और remedies भी available हैं, right? This is what is given here. Now let's just move ahead. Now, so mathematically अगर हम torts को एक equation में डालें, so we understand that wrongful act plus legal damage plus legal remedy becomes a tort, right? So this is what it is. Quickly go through it once. Now we have a clear distinction between what is law of torts, what is crime, and what is a breach of contract. तो इन तीनों में distinction समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Now, what is tort? Tort is an infringement of a private or a civil right. ठीक है, इसको हम यहाँ पे legal right भी कहेंगे. Whereas crime is a public wrong, ठीक है, which is committed against the public at large, right? Then the injured party himself brings an action against the wrongdoer. So जो party होगा, जिसको नुकसान हुआ है, वो ही plaintiff होगा यहाँ पे. Whereas in cases of crime, the wrongdoer is prosecuted by the state, even though the victim in this case is also an individual. A crime is always against the state, right? तो जब हमने law of crimes पढ़ा था, वहाँ पे हमने ये चीज clearly समझी थी, right? So the injured party is awarded with compensation or damages. ठीक है, ये भी हमने पढ़ लिया है. In a crime, the wrongdoer is punished, right? अब यहाँ पे compensation या damages मिलते हैं torts में, whereas in crimes there is punishment or penalties, right? Now, such duty is imposed by law in the breach of it as a tort. ठीक है. दूसरी चीज, अब law of contracts पे आ जाओ. हम लोग crimes complete कर चुके हैं. Now we come to breach of contract. In a contract, the parties, with their free consent, undertake to perform certain duties. ठीक है. Then a duty not to commit a tort is owed to the persons generally and not to any particular individual, right? Now the contracting party owe a duty to each other only. ठीक है. So contracts में parties एक दूसरे के लिए responsible होती है, एक दूसरे को responsible होती है. But when it comes to torts, you never know कि आपकी responsibility किसकी तरफ बन जाए, right? Because एक unintentional torts भी होते हैं, intentional torts भी होते हैं, and जिसको नुकसान हुआ है जरूरी नहीं आप उसको जानते हो या ना जानते हो, right? Let's say आप बहुत तेज negligently car drive कर रहे हो, एकदम से आपके सामने कौन आ जाए, right? किसको injuries हो जाए, you never know, right? So here you don't know the parties, whereas in a contract you already know the parties, right? So I hope all of this is clear to everyone. If anyone has any doubts up till here, you can write down in the comment section below, right? And for all those who've seen the video, I want you to revise the video once again before coming to the next class, right? So with this, I'll end the class here. I hope everybody has understood everything. If not, please comment down in the comment section below. And if you've understood, well and good, right? So with this, I'll end the class here and I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye, take care.